Hi guys, this is John from Happy Allergy Family, and we're here to talk about epinephrine auto-injectors. So in this video, we're going to do a couple things. One is introduce the epinephrine auto-injector. Number two, talk mostly about how to use it, and then talk about common problems that occur. My wife and I are big advocates of food allergy awareness and education, so we hope this video will help you out. What we're going to do in a second is I'm going to have a couple of my students come up with me and demonstrate how to use auto-injectors. So first and foremost, what is an epinephrine auto-injector? So an epinephrine auto-injector puts epinephrine into your bloodstream. While there are many uses for it, the one we're going to focus on is for food allergies. Now, contrary to what some people think, food allergies are not just a minor nuisance. They can be extremely severe. And reactions that you can have, in particular reactions called anaphylactic reactions, can either cripple you or possibly kill you. So these are extremely serious conditions. Now, while we won't go too much into the biochemistry of an anaphylactic reaction, at least not in this video, it's enough for us to think of it this way. An anaphylactic reaction is a severe, possibly life-threatening allergic reaction, which can affect multiple systems and literally cause your body to shut down. All right, so how does an auto-injector play into this? Believe it or not, that dose of epinephrine can mean the difference between life and death, and seconds count. So if you deal with food allergies or have a loved one that deals with food allergies, I can't say this enough, you need to have that auto-injector on hand, because none of this will make a difference if you don't have one available, okay? One more important thing before we get to the main point of this video, and that is, even though that auto-injector is the whole point of this video, right? It is not the end-all be-all. It does not replace calling 911. So once you've applied the auto-injector, you need to call 911, okay? You need to have that person looked at by a health professional. And there are a couple of reasons for this. One, the epinephrine can wear off. And in some cases, believe it or not, if the reaction is very severe, and the symptoms are not being alleviated, you might have to apply a second auto-injector. Never reapply the same auto-injector twice, okay? But we'll talk more about that specifically in a later video. For this video, I want to get to the heart of the matter, which is really how do you apply an epinephrine auto-injector? And we're going to focus on two common ones, even though they're pretty similar in application, the EpiPen and the AUVQ. All right, so let's get to work. So I'm going to introduce my student Pontia. She's going to help us out, and we're going to demonstrate how to use both of the auto-injectors, okay? So the two most popular ones, of course, the EpiPen and an AUVQ. All right, so my student Pontia here is going to help me demonstrate. But basically, the idea is when you take this, right? So we're going to demonstrate first with the EpiPen. You're going to take the EpiPen, right? Grab the barrel. You don't want to hold it underneath or on top because you don't want to run the risk of injecting yourself. So you want to wrap your hands around, right? Wrap your hand around. Remove this cover. So there's a blue cover. This is a safety device, so if it's actually there, you won't be able to inject any medicine. So what I want to do is I want to take this blue cover off. Beforehand, though, a good mnemonic is blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. So once you remove the blue safety, we want to take this guy, and you want to basically aim for the outer thigh. Again, clothing could be in the way. This is actually a pretty strong needle, so it will go straight through the clothing. But that means you have to apply a little bit of force. So you want to take it, you want to apply pressure on the outside. Make sure it goes all the way in. You'll hear a click. And then we do a 3 count. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Once that's done, you can remove it because the medicine has been applied. And don't worry about the needle because this orange protective cover will automatically cover the needle. So we'll put this down. Don't forget to call 911 for help. So again, we're going to repeat this procedure, and all we're going to do is do the same thing. Now, if the person that's stricken is actually having difficulty breathing or feels uncomfortable, sometimes you'll have them lie down on their back. So whatever works for them. But in this case, let's say Pontia wants to lie on the floor. She feels more comfortable there. I'm going to do the same thing. So remember, grab it by the barrel, right? Take off that blue safety. Blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. So I'm going to remove that blue safety. Otherwise, no medicine's coming out. Once we have this, so we're going to look to the outside of her thigh. Even through the clothing, it's going to be fine. So we're going to take it, apply force. You hear that click. We're going to count to 3 slowly. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. The medicine has now been applied. I'm going to slowly remove it. And then, of course, we're going to follow up by calling 911 for help, and we're also going to check to see how she's doing. Okay. We're also going to talk about how Pontia can apply this to herself.
All right, so first we're going to grab the EpiPen by the barrel. We're going to take the blue cap off, extend our arms out, and apply it to the outer side of your thigh. Wait till you hear the click, and count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and then remove.
I've got to offer a big thanks to all our staff that helped out, and of course my wife for organizing and masterminding this whole event. And in fact, hopefully what we'd like to do is do a series of events in honor of Food Allergy Awareness Week, because the more we can spread awareness about food allergies, the better off everyone is, okay? But now it's time to fulfill the final point we made in the beginning of the video, which is common mistakes I think might occur, okay? So number one, I just happen to have this one on me, so I'm going to use it in the demo. But this applies, of course, to any auto-injector. I think a common mistake to be aware of is the fact that people sometimes forget to remove that safety. Okay? Now, in the heat of the moment, it's very easy to get stressed out and confused. It's natural. It happens to anyone. Okay? Whether it's an EpiPen or an Auto-Cure or anything else, it doesn't really make a difference. If you don't remove that safety, nothing's going to happen. If in the heat of the moment something's not working out and you don't understand what's going on, it's always good to check and make sure that safety is removed. Okay? So, one other thing that might happen is if you haven't practiced it right, it's very natural when you're sort of doing this motion, you basically almost instinctively put your thumb back here as a support. Okay, happen to grab it the wrong way. Okay? The problem is if I brace with my thumb like this, I've now injected myself. It's not so much an issue for the person that's actually receiving the injection. The danger is for the person that needs that dose. So resist that urge to put that thumb on top, grab it strictly by the barrel. But in an emergency situation, the only way to really have this down is to build muscle memory. Which brings me to my third and final point, which is kind of all-encompassing, but as an instructor, I can't leave this out, and that is you need to build muscle memory. So now you might be thinking, this procedure is pretty simple. I don't think I have to worry about it. And that might be true, but more often than not, in an emergency situation, everything counts. Things that seem so simple and obvious when you sit back and think about it become immensely difficult in the moment. But if you need an auto-injector, or if you're a parent, right, that has a child that might need an application of an auto-injector, it's so worth your time to build that muscle memory, even if you think the procedure is so simple. My wife and I and the rest of the Happy Allergy family team, we're always looking for ways to improve our message. So if you have any tips or suggestions, or are there any videos you'd like to see? So if you're curious about any of that, please let us know, and Happy Allergy Food Week.